Hey everybody, got the Hobby Drifter here. It is Thursday, August 6th. I've just gotten back from work. A day or two ago I put out a thing on Twitter saying that I would make a commentary video on any topic that some folks on Twitter asked me for, and someone by the name of Pal Perspective asked me for a Transformers video. So here it is. Real quick thing about me. I love Transformers. I have very few bad things to say about anything as far as Transformers goes. I've enjoyed pretty much everything, at least a little bit, and even the stuff I'm not a big fan of, I can find something to really enjoy. I mean, you say what you want about Kiss players, but I mean, those were some really nice figures that came out here in Japan that we didn't get in the Vinyl Tech line. So what you're looking at here is what I affectionately refer to as my dream shelf. This is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. Years back, I realized that I would never have space to really have a huge Transformers collection. Now, like when I started collecting Transformers, it was during Beast Wars, so there was like 150 something G1 like show characters, plus a few dozen Beast Wars characters, and it was reasonable to want to collect pretty much everything. Now, I mean, there's got to be like 100 figures a year coming out, and that's just not feasible for me. So one of the things that I really enjoyed when I became a Transformers fan, like in the early days, was a book that Takara put out or licensed called Transformers Generations, which was just a photo guide for every single G1 figure. And on the cover was all of the leaders for the Autobots slash Sabertron characters. And that's basically what I went for when they started putting out really nice new updated figures. Was I wanted all of the leader figures, and that's pretty much what you're looking at here. There has yet to be an official first party Hasbro or Takara nice Metal Hawk. There was that one in the gift set which I nearly bought a while back, but I'm waiting for something a little bit more good is what I'm basically getting at. It's not really worth it to me to buy a $100 and something gift set for a figure that's just kind of meh to me. I mean, I'm sure there are fans. So yeah, what you got here? This isn't everything. I do have the Masterpiece 44 Convoy 3.0. It's not in this collection because that goddamn thing costs like $400, and I'm not gonna put it on my $50 Nitori bookcase here. I'm kind of waiting until I get something a little bit sturdier to put that out, because if you missed it, I live in Tokyo and we get frickin' earthquakes regularly. So I mean, that would kind of suck to come home and your smokestack is snapped off or whatever. The stuff up here generally pretty sturdy. So this is a mix of Legends and Masterpiece and Generations Selects. You got the beautiful Takara Fort Max back there. The Star Saber, Victory Saber, which does have the third-party Victory Leo. Just because I was that was a comfort buy. I went to book off one day. They had it for like $120, and it was just like, okay, grab that. And glad I did. It's really, really nice. The one on there that's kind of a letdown is Diatlas, which is a shame because it's the only one on there that I've paid over retail for. I missed the pre-order and I thought, oh, I'm going to have to pay through the nose to get this. So when I got to, I think I paid about 10-15% markup, but now it's you can get it for well below retail. Everything else in there I got fairly cheap, except for Star Convoy, which just paid what Takara wanted. Got Masterpiece Rodimus, which I got super cheap last time I was in Kyushu. It's one of those things that I've mentioned this on my channel before, that there's like some minor flaw. Places will just discount it, and this was Mandadake. It's one of my favorite Mandadake locations, the one in Kokura. And there's a dodgy bit with one of the springs in the leg. So a figure that usually commands 20 to 30,000 yen, they asked 9,000, which was I think at the time like $80. It's like, yeah, give you that. Magnus up there was about $85 because the box was messed up. Got Ginrai there. Actually was broken out of the box. The quality control issue on that. But it's a beautiful figure. But yeah, that's my leader shelf. But I mean, Pal Perspective asked me to do a Transformers video. So let me tell you a little bit of my history of Transformers collecting in Japan. When I came to Japan in 2006, I was a huge Transformers nerd. Not a fan. I was like, that was my thing. That was like, I was the Transformers guy to people who knew me. Like, oh, you know, that guy, he's a Transformers guy. So when I came here, it was 2006, and I'll never forget it. I went into Toys R Us, like one of the first Toys R Us stores I went to when I came over, and they had Star Convoy, the Star Convoy reissue, for 500 yen. It was $5 for this thing. And like, ooh, yoink, grabbed that. I grabbed Stepper. They had, got that a few weeks later, the reissue, the book style reissue, for $3. I missed out on the Golden Age. Predaking was marked down to like $20. Brave Maximus, the car robots, Fort Max repaint, was like $50 at Toys R Us. Because, and I cannot stress this enough, and I've mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again. 2006, Transformers were not popular here. It was a very, very niche thing for like Transformers fans. Like it was very little presence for younger fans. It was basically catering, like throwing a bone to like the older fans. So I mean, they would release these things, and you know the hardcore fans would buy them right away, and everyone else would just be like, whatever, and just leave them sitting there. I did manage to snag a bunch of those Brave Maximus and Predaking reissues on the secondary market a while later, and that was a whole other headache that I might get into later. But I found a store called Mandarake, which I've mentioned before, and this was the one in Tenjin, and I swear to God, it was simultaneously the best and worst thing to ever happen to me as a Transformers fan, because I found stuff that I had like only seen in like fuzzy photographs and dreams, and they were just giving it away. There was almost no demand for it. I mean, even the so-called showcases were full of stuff that cost like, you know, 3,000, 4,000 yen. I mean, I bought nearly complete Black Zarek for $80. I bought Grand Maximus for $100. Boxed Desirus for under $100. I got boxed like a half dozen boxed Fortress Maximuses, Maximi, Maxim, a bunch of these things for, you know, under like $200. The first Fort Max I bought, the first boxed one that was missing a couple of pieces, was $45 US. I got like the powered convoy, you know, the pre Ultra Magnus. I think I paid $40 for that. Overlord was $40 and was missing like a missile. Just like anything you could have dreamed about owning as a you know, Western Transformers fan was just there. And for a couple of weeks I was like, oh my god, I've got all these figures I've always wanted. And then something kind of happened where I was like, well, did I really want them? Did I want to own, you know, the dinosaur cassettes? You know, did I want like Overlord? Now, yeah, kind of. But at the time, I mean, no, I was like, you know, it was the fact that they were so, you know, unattainable that made these things like, oh, I gotta have these. And then I realized I was, you know, an immigrant that was making not a lot of money, and I could fix that. So like, I did. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get in on selling some of this stuff. And you know, don't hate me. I mean, I did definitely make myself some money, but I hooked up my friends first at little to no discount, at cost plus shipping. Still do that on occasion, but you know, those deals are long gone. I had one dude who even though I gave him everything at shipping, he was still like, "Oh my God, why are you ripping me off? You're trying to make a profit off of me," and that was the end of me helping that guy out. But yeah, I made some decent, not like, oh my God, I'm gonna buy a car type money, but I definitely made enough to take care of some of those early immigrant problems. Also, I like paid off my ex-girlfriend's like credit cards and things like that because didn't really need money at the time. Like I was working my ass off. I was working all the time. I didn't really do much. My main hobby of collecting Transformers was more than paying for itself. So I was doing stuff like I paid off my ex-girlfriend's credit card, and I was giving money to charity, and I was doing this, that, and the other thing. Like when I had to move unexpectedly twice in the span of about 8 months. That's expensive. There's all types of stuff, and that was Transformers. It paid for a lot of my wedding. I got rid of a lot of my stock when I got married, and I don't regret it. But it also really made me take a look at my Transformers hobby. Like I realized I didn't want everything, and I didn't want a huge collection. I just wanted to own nice samples of the stuff that I wanted. And that's the Dream Shelf. This is not my entire Transformers collection. It's a good part of it. I've got a bunch of other figures, mostly Fortress Maximus and Optimus and Megatron related, just because I've got a ton of different versions of them, because I think they're cool. But yeah, that's the way that I collect now, is just basically stuff that fits into a spot that I have open. Like I try not to just buy random stuff now, but I do. I grabbed the Masterpiece movie Optimus and Megatrons when they were marked down to like 70% off online, because at $200, Masterpiece Megatron, the movie version, is a beautiful figure, but I can pass on it. At like 50, yeah, gimme. And the same goes for a bunch of stuff. Couple of fun stories. I have shown fellow Transformers fans around Tokyo and Kyushu, like when they've come over. I've met some really cool people from online, from Twitter, from message boards, places like that. Including one guy who has a very specific collection of Starscream. I think he's going for literally every Starscream thing, and everything that has been like pre and post Starscream mold. Like basically any Seeker, that's his deal. And he came over, and I got to hang out with him for a day or two, and we went to Akihabara, and there was a store. I don't remember the name of the store. I don't think it was Jungle, but it might have been one of the Jungle stores. And they had 2 of the Lucky Draw movie golden protoform Starscreams. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need one of those." So he asked me to go in, and like it was a showcase item. It was for sale. But it wasn't like there was no sticker price. There was like it was like, "This is for sale, but we'll talk to you about it." So I went in there, and I was doing my best to translate for the dude. And the guy comes back, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, there's a guy here who says he's serious about buying it, and he's willing to pay money for it." So he gets on the phone with the boss, comes back, talks to me, and he's like, "Yeah, it's $5,000. It's 600,000 yen at the time." And he's like, "Yeah, it's $5,000. And I tell the guy, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "Do you think they'd let me buy both of them?" And I'm like, "Yeah, probably. But this isn't the guy just like, well, I will clearly pay that money." So he went back, and he slept on it, and I believe he did wind up getting it. But we got the card from the guy, and yeah, that was the most money I've ever been a part of someone spending on a toy. Comics, I've seen people spend money more. I saw one dude with a like the briefcase with the handcuff on it back in the day. I don't know if there's a lot of any other Transformer stuff other than to just give you like a quick buying guide. If you want to buy new stuff, new Transformer stuff here, Amazon is the best way to do it. It's pre-orders go up almost as soon as stuff is announced. So I mean, 6, 8, 10 months in advance. You get the lowest price if the price dips at any point before the figure is released. And yeah, you will basically never find a lower price on a new retail figure than if you buy from Amazon. Second to that would be Bic Camera, which generally offers new figures and a little bit under retail, not a huge discount. Yamada Denki's Labby has a pretty good discount on new figures, usually 10-ish% or more. Toys R Us will do a discount like the first week of release, or at least that's the way it used to be, and then it goes up to close to the MSRP. And Yodobashi Camera will generally have stuff very close to the suggested retail price of new figures. So if you're coming to Japan and you want to buy some new stuff, that's what you got to know. Don't drop all your money at Yodobashi before you go to Bic, Labby, maybe even Toys R Us and places like that. As far as what the current market for Transformers, like classic stuff is, I live in Tokyo, so mostly when I see stuff, it's in Akihabara, and it's stupid expensive. It's not even like, it's so much more than you would even pay online. There's no, save some money by not having to pay for shipping. These stores know that this stuff is rare, and they know that there will be someone, if not a local, but a tourist with some deeper pockets who will pay several $1,000s for a big powered gift set, or like a boxed Black Zarek or things like that. But I mean, you do still get some really good deals showing up. I refresh Amazon every couple of weeks just to see what places are closing out, because when you get the closeout sales, you can get some spectacular good deals on stuff that maybe you passed up in the first place. Let me show you this real quick. One of my favorite Transformers of all time was God Ginrai, the original. Power Master Optimus Prime was like my favorite toy as a kid. When I got God Ginrai, back in 2000-ish, I was over the moon. He's always been like one of my favorite, pieces of the Transformers mythos. And this was the Gutokuro figure collection Ginrai figure. I'm sorry, I keep saying Ginrai. It's Jinrai. They spell it with a G, but it is the J sound. Jinrai. Sorry. So the Gutokuro figure collection Jinrai, and this thing when it came out was limited, like super limited. You couldn't just go out and grab one. They sold out. It's a little bigger. I'd say probably 1/8 scale. Bigger than 1/6, smaller than 1/20. Yeah, 1/6. It says it's a non-scale figure, but I'd put it around there. 1/9 scale. And yeah, it's him in his Power Master armor, with God Master armor with 5 different faces, the helmet, a bunch of different hands, and it's just a nice figure if you're a fan of the character who doesn't mispronounce the name all the time. Plenty of different display options, and a bunch of these just showed up on Amazon a couple of months ago for like $30, and like, it was never really on my radar before, but for $30, that's the price of like a new deluxe series, Studio Series figure. So grabbed that. Fingers crossed that Minerva is also sitting around in boxes somewhere, because I'd love to have the set of those. That Jinrai is still in the box. I have not opened it on account of that. I just don't really have space for it in any of the places I display figures. So it's just kind of taking up space in places where I don't display figures. I guess it wouldn't really be a Transformers video if I didn't find some kind of negative thing to say though. Oh, okay, yeah, the Hasbro and Takara full integration thing. That kind of sucks for me. These new figures, War for Cybertron, are absolutely fantastic, and they hit the sweet spot in between like Takara quality and Hasbro quality. But the thing with Takara figures is they always cost more because, as I mentioned earlier, the Transformers buying market here is not huge. It's a very niche market. So fewer people buying them means the prices are generally pretty high. For example, here, Jetfire, I think, had like a 15,000 yen MSRP, 140 US dollars, compared to whatever it was elsewhere. I think our Fort Max up there was almost 30,000 yen. Masterpiece figures are super expensive. But now that Hasbro and Takara have, it used to be, you'd pay more for the Takara figure because you got more paint apps, or they would be more show accurate, or they'd have different accessories. Now, you're paying Hasbro, or you're paying Takara prices for Hasbro figures, or at least you were during the Power of the Primes series, which is why you don't see any of the Power of the Primes stuff here on my shelf. I didn't get Optimus or Rodimus or any of those figures because they were double or more the price of the Hasbro figures, which it would have literally been cheaper for me to do like a bulk buy and import them rather than just paying what the MSRP was from Takara. But now we've got the War for Cybertron figures, and they are gorgeous. They're like some of my favorite Transformers toys to be released in a very long time. They feel great, they look great, they display well, you can take pictures of them in every kind of pose, and they don't take 20 minutes or more to get from one mode to the next, like a certain Masterpiece figure I could mention. However, I do look at these things, and again, they're much more expensive than the Hasbro versions. If you get them on Amazon early, the price comes down to within a reasonable level. Most of the time, Jetfire never got cheap, and I don't see Skylinks dropping to under 100 anytime soon. But I see things on these where I'm like, if Takara and Hasbro were still doing, their separate stuff, I could see like where the extra paint apps would have been, like with Optimus here. It was one of my. This is probably my figure of the year so far. I could definitely see, like, if they were still doing it, these gray pieces on the inside of the legs, these would have been blue. Maybe these gray pieces in front, too. I could have seen the smokestacks being a little bit longer. Yeah, and the stuff on the back of the legs probably also would have been blue. But again, they're wonderful figures, and I couldn't not nitpick something in it from the best Transformers toy line to come out in, I don't know, my lifetime. I don't know. It's wonderful. I can't say enough good things about it. Other than I wish that the Takara ones still had more paint apps on them. So yeah, that's 25 minutes of me just talking about how Transformers stuff. Love Transformers. I will continue to love Transformers. Like I say, there's never been a Transformers bit of fiction that I haven't at least enjoyed at the time. G1 enjoyed, Beast Wars, that was fantastic. Beast Machines, I think, aged really, really well. The Japanese stuff, Master Force, Headmasters, Robots in Disguise is super fun to watch again. Animated, I thought, was terrific. Prime was most of what I liked about Animated, and then most of what I enjoyed about like Beast Wars. I haven't seen Cyberverse yet. The movies I didn't hate. I really liked the first one. I thought the second one was kind of a mess. The third one I thought was kind of back on track. Enjoyed the fourth one. The fifth one I don't even remember. But I'm sure I didn't hate it. The Transformers movie, the animated movie I thought was wonderful. I've been enjoying the toys for years. I've been a member of Transformers message boards and Transformers Twitter for decades. Met some really nice people through Transformers. Made some good friends, and it helped pay for my permanent residency visa by getting me started selling off stuff to other Transformers fans. So yeah, good to be a Transformers fan. Great to be a Transformers fan now. All this has got me thinking I'm probably going to go and watch the War for Cybertron thing on Netflix, maybe as early as tonight. All right, well, Pal Perspective, I hope this scratched your itch for a Transformers video from me. Thanks for asking for it. If anybody else has something they'd like to hear me just go on about for however long, drop me a message on Twitter at HobbyDrifter. I don't have a lot of negative stuff to say, so you're not gonna get like a rage video. Sorry, but if you want to just hear me gush about how much I love nerd stuff, by all means, let me know. All right, well, that's all from me. Take care, everyone. Stay safe in this global health crisis we're in. If you're in a position to help other people, please do. And happy hobbying.